thing, guys. I might start recording on my computer if I can get it to work. I already tried this what if. For some reason the audio would not correctly form and it was like scratchy and it would like stop. It was all messed up. So yeah, if I fix it, I'll try to do it on my computer more. But this what if would be what if Naruto was the key, because people commented that down and I do not know what that means. Because I'm not that far into the storyline of the God of High School. So yeah. So let's get this started. With Deku's sort of background and family member. So, Deku's, did I say Naruto? I think I said Naruto. But Deku lives with his grandfather. He did not grow up with his parents or even know them. He only knows the name, which would be Annie Midoriya, which would be American hero, flame hero, the number 2 in America, and Hisashi Midoriya. I probably messed up the name a little bit, but not too bad, as he would have been the number 4 hero, and this time, in Japan, as Annie would have moved to Japan, she would have been bumped up to the number 3 hero, flame hero. As they of course have a kid, which would be named Izuku Midoriya. But not too far after this would happen, a battle between a strong villain would happen against All Might, and they would be used against All Might, as they would took him down and threatened to be killed, as All Might would not be able to fight back for a moment, as he would be stricken into the side. And yes, I did change the time of whenever All Might was attacked. I'm pretty sure Deku was around 7 in main canon, whenever All For One, All Might faced against each other. But it would be close to whenever he was born. And so, after this, Deku would be taken to his grandfather, which would be Hisashi Midoriya's father. Just explaining that. And whenever he was diagnosed corkless, it would surprise his grandfather, since he thought he would at least inherit the mother's or the father's quirk of being, but he did not, which would surprise him. But as Deku would be sad, his grandfather would say that, "Don't worry, I'll teach you how to become a hero with the martial arts," which would make Deku happy. And so, he'd go with his grandfather, adapting a different personality from him. Their personality is more dense, but not really dense. Let me explain. So they might act dense to stuff about friends and all that, and how normal society would work. But they can get serious in a moment's notice. And so, what was I think that was my dad. No, it was a video. Yes, I watch Minecraft. Don't mess with me. I got an anime on my side. But, so, he would live with his grandfather for 12 years out into the mountains, where his grandfather owns a house. And so, this day would be a special day. It's been 12 years since the fight against All For One and All Might happened. And it would happen today, with schools being shut down for a while, as the attack would happen. All Might would be successful of beating All for One, but unnotes to All Might is what happens when we defeat an All for One user, which of course he wouldn't know this since All for One has not been given to somebody else since its making or birth of the quirk. But all the quirks that he has taken through the years would go back to the user that had it if they're still alive, unless he gave it to somebody else. And as Deku would be home, he would feel a slight heat come from his body for a second, and he would feel a difference. And this would be in the middle of a spar against his grandfather. As Deku would feel a course of power for a second, and throw his kick at his grandfather's one, which would overpower his, and fling his back. As Deku would take this as his advantage, and run up to him, grabbing onto him, throwing a high knee kick, which his grandfather would block, then grab him and slam him to the ground, and throw his fist, which Deku would kick him in the face, then would dodge it, and come above him, wrapping his legs against his neck, swinging, launching himself backwards against the wall, kicking off of it, throwing a heavy kick to the ground, which his grandfather just noticed that Deku's gonna, if he was faster and stronger for a second, as this kick would end, with his grandfather blocking it, which would send him backwards, destroying the ground with them, or their home, where they practice. As Deku's body would feel limp for a second, as he would fall to his face. As his grandfather would ask what just happened, he literally just got like 10 times faster for a second. And so he would let him rest, as he would run off or dash off to the city, which would be a couple 100 miles away. Yeah, that seems a good distance. His grandfather would turn on his quirk, as claws would come from his hand, and his ears would pop up, which he would get on all fours, and speed away, which he would end up in the city, which he would look for somewhere to live, as he would find a small house with a very large backyard, since they would need it. And as he would go to pay for it, the man would give a price, and of course Deku's grandfather would pull up a whole wad of cash, since they really didn't use cash at all through the years of Sashi and Annie being heroes. They really didn't have to pay anything except food, so there's a large sum of money left over, and also inheritance through their family name, since Annie was from another Flame Hero family. And so Deku would of course wake up as his grandfather would get back, as his grandfather would look at him, seeing him with white hair and animal ears, with a tail on his back, a flame tail, as he would say, "Look at this," saying, "Is this my quirk? It's similar to yours, but it has flames like my mother." So, how did I thought it was quirkless. And of course, you'd say, I don't know, you were. You must have just manifested your quirk. That's no wonder how you're that much stronger and why you passed out earlier. And so, Deku would be informed that they're moving back to the city in a few months. So get ready. And Deku would. As they would head to the city the same way, and Deku has been training how to unlock his form on instance. He would be able to get through these 3 months of training his quirk. He'd be able to unlock 2 tails, I mean. As they would leave off the same way as they would end up back at the city. As Deku would be tired, as his grandfather would feel fine, saying, "You want to get a bite to eat." Saying, as they went farther into the city, not just getting to the edge of it, before they turned off their quirks, so people would see Deku and him fly from the sky and land with their ears and tails, as they would turn their quirks off. And of course, they would just grab something to eat, like soba, or I don't know, sushi, or something kind of expensive or cheap, doesn't matter. And so, they would head to the home, as Deku would be informed that he's getting enrolled into a middle school. Which he says, why do I have to? And he says, because you'll be a very important person in society, and you must become one. And so, he would be enrolled into, I don't know what the middle school he went to, I'm just going to steal it from an anime. He's going to go to Black Salt, or Salt, Salt Middle School, or was it Salt Vinegar? Or I think that was the other middle school, Vinegar Middle School. I'm pretty sure that's from Mob Psycho, but not the point. And so, on his first day, he would introduce himself as Izuku Midoriya, which I'll say they would be a replacement for the big hero fan that Deku would be in the classroom. In which he'd say, you're saying you're the related to the number 3 and number 4 hero, Asashi Midoriya and Annie Midoriya. And he'd say, yeah, that's my father and mother's name, what of it, as all that, which people would be kind of interested in, but they remember that they died against the villain, the All For One guy that All Might was just defeated and retired after defeating him. And so they would think they're pretty strong, since the only person that seemed to do a dent against him would have been All Might. And so, of course, Bakugo yelled out, whatever, if your parents were heroes, they still were weak enough. I'm gonna be the strongest hero, being All Might. Saying, don't get cocky, because I am the strongest. And Deku would ask, have you beat everybody in a battle? Have you faced everybody? So how can you prove that you're the strongest? And of course, Bakugo would start yelling at him and arguing. as Deku pretty much is just messing with them by now. As Bakugo says, you're trying to pick a fight. And you say, sure, a fight would sound nice. It'd be fun. And this is when the teacher would have to stop it. With everybody being like, if they're gonna fight, I wonder who's gonna win, with Bakugo or the new kid. With gossip would go around the school, as people would hear that his parents were pro heroes and not no low rank ones, they're both high. And so, whenever everybody gets there, they would have watched as Bakugo would get ready to throw explosions, and Deku would get into a stance. People saying, isn't he gonna turn on his quirk? And Deku would have dashed forward at pretty fast speeds to everybody, with Bakugo exploding in the air, gonna throw explosion on him. But Deku would have palmed away or threw away Bakugo's explosion, jumping in the air, kneeing him in the face, which would throw him backwards. As Bakugo would get back up, throwing explosions low to the ground, sweeping his hand upwards to try to explode him. As Deku would throw his leg up, throwing it down against the explosion, which when it stopped his leg, going to crash into Bakugo's back. As Bakugo would dodge off, even though you guys might not give credit to Bakugo at the beginning of the anime, he was pretty strong with his quirk, even though he had a cocky attitude. And he only got stronger through the 10 months, but he's already strong in the first place. And so, Bakugo get ready to throw a big attack, as he would strain his arms with the attack that he just threw. Deku would see this, as he would get ready, as he activates his quirk in the first tail mode, as he would spin with flame blades coming from his arms. As people would see this, he would spin, throwing of flame blades at him, blasting through the explosion. As Deku would be a perfect mix of his parents' two quirks. The nine-tailed hero and the majestic flame hero. So yeah. As he would get ready saying, try not to get cut in half, as he would swing his leg down, throwing a huge flame-like blade at high speeds, like a shark fin kind of, which would smash against Bakugo, which would engulf him in flames, throwing him back. As Deku would win, as people would be surprised in what Naruto or Deku just did. Sorry, I just did a Naruto what if after this, or before this. As Deku would win, and he would wake up Bakugo with a couple slaps. As Bakugo gets angry, Deku would shake his hand, saying that was a good battle. Hope we can fight again one day, and train to make sure you get stronger, and I will too. As he says that he needs to get home fast as he can, since his grandfather would get mad at him, as he's still in his one-tailed form, as people would see him increase his power, and more flames would intensify, as the second tail would come up, and he would flash off. as people see him pretty much get even stronger than he was when he faced Bakugo, which would anger Bakugo, saying I'll beat him next time. Since he thinks that he was just holding back, which he was, but he wasn't holding back for Bakugo's sake, he was just testing his power against somebody. But he would get home, and his grandfather would pull up a poster explaining UA to him, explaining that he should go here since his father did too. And his mother, of course, didn't because she's from a different country and she was already a pro hero there in America. Heck yeah. And so, Deku now has a working goal, which would be UA. See you guys later.